Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about discipleship and why it's so important that a church teaches and talks about making disciples in today's culture. Now, a disciple is somebody who follows someone else. Usually, when you say the word disciple in a Christian setting, people think of the 12 that followed Jesus. But Jesus didn't just have the 12. He had a whole group of people that would travel with him. The 12 were just like his inner circle, and even amongst the 12, he had some that were a bit more close and special to him than others were, just like we currently have with our day-to-day friendships. And it's so important for the church to be preaching and teaching about what it means to be a disciple of Jesus, because we can't grow in our faith unless we take that step towards discipleship. And some people who are reading the Bible for the first time might read about the 12 and about how Jesus treated them and about what they did and how they lived and walked and talked with Jesus and got taught directly from the source. And they might just read that and be like, oh, cool, Jesus had a friend group that he taught and everything he knew too. But that's not the case, because it wasn't just a closed off circle. In Mark 8:34, it says, "Then he called the crowd to him along with his disciples and said, 'Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me.'" That is Jesus speaking to the crowd and his disciples, saying that anyone who wants to follow me must do this. It's not whoever I invite. It's not whoever I'm closest with at the time. It's not whoever the 12 think. No. It is an open invitation to anyone that if you want to be my disciple, you have to deny yourself, take up your cross, and follow me. Now, taking up your cross doesn't mean you go out and you cut down a tree or you find a pre-made cross and you go hang yourself on it. That's not what he's saying to do here. What he means by take up your cross and follow me is that spiritually you must die to the things that are impure and you must follow Jesus and the example that he set and the teachings that he has about how you should live. And to deny yourself isn't to deny yourself food and water or electronics or stuff like that, unless of course you're fasting. If you're fasting and you've given up those things, then you're denying those things. But on a day-to-day, that's not what he's talking about. He's talking about denying the fleshly desires that are impure. He's talking about denying your hopes and dreams to follow what he has planned for you. Because personally, I did not think I was going to try to become a pastor. That was not a goal of mine. I wanted to go and I wanted to be a marine animal trainer and try to get a job at SeaWorld, which I know sounds crazy and impossible, but that was my dream. I loved animals. I loved water. Combine the two and work at a really well-known place with exotic wildlife, yes, sign me up. I was so in on that. And then the logistics of that hit me and I was like, oh, that's I don't like that. What am I going to do now? And God got a hold of my heart and said, hey, you're going to come and be a pastor and you are going to make disciples for me and you're going to lead people to me. Which, I'm not going to lie, is a little intimidating. Making these videos is kind of intimidating because that's not something that I thought I was going to do. That's not something that I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. This is what I want to do. It is now, but it wasn't when this first happened. And so Jesus is saying here in this context to deny yourself, deny what you think you're going to do with your life, take up your cross, and follow Him. That is why it is so important that churches teach this, because to a new believer, they're not going to understand that. They might get it eventually, but that's like if they keep reading their Bible and coming to church and knowing about God. So as a church, we need to make sure that we are teaching about discipleship and the importance and the weight that it carries. Hope this helped.